Eagles, Vikings, Kirk Cousins, you mother freaker. Not to quote Phil Rivers, but you mother freaker. You've done it again. Kirk Cousins. Unbelievable what he did against a really bad Eagles secondary, a depleted Eagles secondary in the 1 o'clock hour against a team that was technically above 500 when they played.
Mm-hmm.
You just bought yourself a new contract, 4 touchdowns, 333 yards. You hooked up with Stephon Diggs. You hooked up with Adam Thielen. You made everyone feel good. And there are definitely some people in Minnesota right now who, against all their good judgment, are like, maybe? That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Maybe? And
You
that's
have
the
to be.
perfect Kirk Cousins.
He teases you a little bit. So, yeah, give him another contract. You almost have to at this point. Like, give him 2 more years. Just a little extension. Show some faith in him. And you could tell during this game that Mike Zimmer was, like, secretly not happy that Kirk Cousins was playing so well. Mike Zimmer's just always like, give me a reason to bench you. Give me a reason. I would love to bench you. And Kirk Cousins just did his thing that he does. And I'm sure who do they play next week?
I don't know. I mean, he looks like he's going to be on a 2 or 3 week roll. I think I looked at it a while ago. He has a big primetime game against the Cowboys in a few weeks. And
the Lions and then the Redskins.
Yeah, so as long as he doesn't have to go on primetime, he's going to win a couple more games, and everyone's going to say Kirk Cousins. And
Redskins one's in primetime, though, Thursday night.
The tragedy of this Vikings team is the rest of the roster is really, really good, and their defense is really good, and they have weapons.
Yeah.
And Kirk Cousins will do this when the pressure's off and no one expects it. And then the minute they have to play a primetime game, he will give an awful pump-up speech. He will get the entire team to lack all confidence that they had leading up to it. And then he will piss down his leg and fall flat on his face. And we'll all be like, damn, I cannot believe we ever believed in Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins is the king of saying shit that he shouldn't be smiling while he's smiling. So, like, in a post-game press conference after he's just thrown, like, 4 picks, he'll be like, I really got to play better. And he's got this big toothy grin as he says it because he knows he's fucking nailing the quote that he's supposed to say. And he gets so excited about, like, saying the right thing as a quarterback. He's very exasperating to root for. He's going to probably get his ass kicked by the Lions, but then the revenge game against the Redskins is going to be something to behold. So he'll probably throw for, like, 6 touchdowns against them. And then – was it? You said a primetime game, maybe?
Yeah,
they're playing the Patriots.
No, they're playing the Cowboys in a few weeks. I think in primetime.
Oh yeah, he'll get his ass kicked in primetime. Yeah, so he'll have a classic 4 interception game in that one too. But yeah, the greatest trick Kirk Cousins ever pulled on the world is allowing people to believe that he sucked.
Yeah,
because sometimes he doesn't.
And then Doug Peterson. This was a classic bad Doug Peterson game where you live with the good because the good can get you a Super Bowl, and he's one of the most aggressive coaches in the NFL. And then you live with the bad when he fakes punts and runs screens that he's run a few times in the game before, and he goes for it on 4th down when he shouldn't. But I actually have no problem with it. Like, if Doug Peterson goes for it on 4th down every 4th down, that's fine because at least you know what to expect, and it's going to work half the time. And then sometimes you get games like today where it really wasn't even his fault because their defense was so bad, but he didn't help them in any way by being a little aggressive in spots when it failed.
I also want to flag this real quick. Mike Zimmer is having an all-time red-faced coach season. It's up there like Tom Coughlin, Mike Shanahan levels at this point. He wears those tactical glasses, so he's got like a very angular, noticeable suntan on his face, and like 90% of his face is just beet red. Like he replaced the windshield with just a giant magnifying glass in his car, and he's just driving around getting sunburned all the time. It's really a sight to behold. The other thing I wanted to bring up here, obviously the Eagles secondary is not good. They need a lot of help. They want Jalen Ramsey, right? If you're the Eagles, would you trade a first-round pick to get Jalen Ramsey, but you also have to take Nick Foles?
Yeah.
Or like 2 first-round picks, I guess, in that case.
I think they want Nick Foles, although Carson Wentz is playing well, and none of this – like, he was good today. And, well, he threw a few interceptions, I think. I think he had 3 interceptions. But I still don't – like, when your defense plays that bad, it's kind of hard to blame anything on the quarterback because the quarterback has to press so much to try to keep you in it. But, yeah, I'd do that. Just get Nick Foles because Carson Wentz, he hasn't made it through a full season, so why not? Give it a shot. But I would, if I were the Eagles, I would trade for Jalen Ramsey just because he's the type of guy that can make everything better just by him being able to lock down one guy, and then now you don't have these guys getting picked on. I mean, I think it was the second quarter when the Vikings just were like, we're just going to pick on their secondary, and just they had plays that guys were wide open, that Diggs was wide open. I think he had two 50-yard plus touchdowns, which doesn't happen in the NFL all that often, and it looked like a college game broke out. So, yeah, I'd do it. I would do it.
This is classic Philadelphia sports fan, too, because they're one city that when they get linked to a player, they talk about that player as if he's already on the Eagles. Like,
right.
Philadelphia Eagles fans right now are talking more about Jalen Ramsey and the impact that he will have on their next game if he's their quarterback than the guys that are still on the team right now.
Right, and if they don't get him, then they'll send, like, a bunch of hate mail to his house and call him an asshole and a scumbag because he didn't get traded to the Eagles, which he has no control over.
You quit on us before you joined. Before
you didn't
want
to win a championship. You didn't want to go down Broad Street. Come on, bro. We don't want you if you don't have heart. If you don't have a heart in that chest. By the way.